After I lost my job, my sister paid my landlord $500 extra to kick me out early. I called her. She laughed. Mom and Dad told me to. Tough love. Dad said calmly, I love you. You have to hit rock bottom to change. Mom added, a few nights on the street will motivate you. I said nothing. Hung up. Then I made one call. I stared at the 24-hour eviction notice taped to my apartment door, my stomach twisting into a cold, heavy knot. My rent was paid through the end of the month. I'd just been laid off from my tech job 3 weeks ago. Oh, massive corporate downsizing that gutted half my department. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't a failure. I was just a casualty of a bad economy. But my landlord, a notoriously shady guy who managed the building under the table, had just handed me the notice with a smirk. When I demanded to know why I was being forced out early when my rent was current, he didn't even try to hide it. He leaned against the doorframe and laughed. Your sister made me a better offer. $500 cash to change the lock tomorrow morning. I felt the blood drain from my face. My own sister. My family had always harbored a strange, bitter jealousy toward me. I was the only one who moved away. The only one who went to college. The only one who built a stable career. To them, my success was an insult. And my recent job loss wasn't a tragedy. It was a spectator sport. They finally had a chance to watch me fall. My hands were shaking, not from sadness, but from a terrifying, ice-cold rage. I pulled out my phone and dialed my sister Sarah. She answered on the second ring, the sound of a television blaring in the background. Did you pay Rick to kick me out? I asked, my voice dangerously quiet. She laughed. A loud, mocking, cruel laugh that echoed through the speaker. Mom and Dad told me to. Tough love. There was some shuffling on the other end. And then my father's voice came on the line. He sounded completely unfazed, almost righteous. I love you, Dad said calmly. You have to hit rock bottom to change. Before I could even process the sheer hypocrisy of his words, I heard my mother chime in from the background, her tone dripping with fake concern. A few nights on the street will motivate you. I sat on the edge of my bed. I looked around at the boxes I hadn't even started packing. My own flesh and blood had just paid a corrupt landlord to render me homeless, purely for their own twisted satisfaction. I said nothing. I hung up. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. And I made one call. I dialed the private client hotline at my bank. What my parents and my sister conveniently forgot in their rush to see me ruined was how their own lives were funded. 4 years ago, when I was making six figures and they were drowning in debt, they begged me for help. I was the sole legal guarantor on my father's $200,000 small business credit line. Without my pristine credit score and income, his contracting business would have gone bankrupt years ago. And my sister, that brand new SUV she loved showing off on Instagram, the financing was entirely in my name because her credit was completely trashed. They thought losing my job meant I had lost my power. They didn't realize it gave me the exact legal loophole I needed. The bank representative answered. I kept my voice perfectly steady. Hi, I said. I need to invoke a material change of financial circumstance. I've lost my job, and I am formally withdrawing myself as the guarantor on account ending in 4409 and releasing liability on the auto loan ending in 8112. Freeze them both immediately. Because the loans were strictly contingent on my employment and credit backing, pulling my name triggered an automatic default protocol. I spent that night sleeping in my car. It was freezing, uncomfortable, and lonely, but I slept with a smile on my face. It took exactly 48 hours for the fallout to begin. My phone started blowing up on Thursday morning. 30 missed calls, frantic text messages. The bank had frozen my father's business accounts and demanded immediate repayment of the credit line. Since he didn't have the cash, they placed a massive lien on my parents' house. My sister fared even worse. Because the auto loan was flagged and she couldn't secure new financing, the lender issued an immediate repossession order. Her car was towed right out of her office parking lot in front of all her coworkers. On the 50th missed call, I finally hit answer. My father was practically hyperventilating. The arrogant, calm tone from 2 days ago was completely gone. He was crying, begging me to call the bank, telling me they were going to lose the house, that Sarah was having a panic attack, that this was all a huge misunderstanding. I listened to him panic for a full minute. I let the silence hang in the air until his sobs quieted down. Then I mirrored the exact tone he had used on me. I love you, I said calmly, but you have to hit rock bottom to change. A few nights on the street will motivate you. I hung up, blocked their numbers, and drove away to start my new life.